Hello everyone, welcome back to Lego Bay City. So it's been months since I created an alternate design for set 60380, and I've been looking for this set for a long time now, but I haven't found a decent priced one. But finally it's here. After probably 6 or 7 months of waiting, I finally have one. And this one isn't really a cheap price as well. It's still regular price, but hey, what can we do? Anyway, we won't be building this one actually. We will be building the Downtown Arcade. So I have the stickers here, and I have already prepared the parts by organizing and separating them. And then I will have my instructions either on my iPad or in my laptop for the Downtown Arcade. So as you know, I have this one as an alternate design, and I will be building it and adding it to my city. Without further ado, I shall start with the build. So here is the finished Downtown Arcade. And I have to be honest with you guys, I actually went a little over with this one. Usually, you could build this with just the set and you wouldn't have any issues. But for my part, I ended up using more of the extra pieces that I had in order to completely rebuild the back portion, which had a lot of colors in it. But overall, the facade remains the same. The pavement is now dark bluish gray with a line of light blue gray tile here, which is similar to what we would have for the normal modular buildings. So this one will be a bit different, and it could give you more ideas for what you could do to improve the MOC further on if you have more extra parts in your inventory. Being a corner building, we have here the first part of the facade, which would have the arcade and the barber shop on this side. And for me, given the combination of different colors that the downtown street had, I wanted to sort of refine it and make it into a uniform color where you would have the dark orange and medium nougat with accent color of black on the ground floor. And then for the upper level, you would have white colored building with an accent of red and trans light blue window panes. For this one, I wanted to be streamlined, but still have some sort of color by adding the plants or the vines that grow on the side of the building. For me, this is usually a style that I would do to incorporate some life into just a normal building, because if it had just been a building without some plants in it, it might be too boring or lifeless. So I usually try to add trees and growing vines on the side of the building just to add a splash of color. Now this part here is the unique part of the building wherein you would have the glass pane, that is the climbing area for players on the arcade. So in front of the building, I wanted to keep the noodle shop that was in the set, as well as the tree here, to add some life and some scenes outside of the building. Mainly because when we look at this MOC, we will be seeing the exterior, and being a corner building, you have more options and more possibilities of different scenes going out from this building. Also, as you can see from the wall climbing area, I placed a minifigure there because we could see it from the outside, and it sort of gives you an idea of what it is, even without opening the modular building. Now, for the upper level, I wanted to make it uniform, similar to what you would have for the other modular buildings as well. The design of Lego would be normally the ground floor being a different color and different height compared to the next two levels. The next two levels will be consistent in colors and with some minor changes in the design. But overall, for uniformity, it's kept this way where they are the same. For the top part of the roof, I wanted to make sure I was able to use the awkward and unusual parts that were in white that were used for the hotel and the main structure of the building, and sort of create some architectural features. Now, this one used to be the sign for the shop, or sorry, the vet shop. But if I turned it around, it sort of looks like a robot or a body of a robot of some sort, or it could just be some different sign other than a paw. So I kept the sticker and with that one, but you have the option if you want to keep it just as a white tile. For the back, this will be very different from the original MOC design, mainly because I used a lot of white pieces in my inventory, and I used the yellow parts to create this uniform look. This one in the original design had so many different colors in it because I was working with a set that had so many random pieces, and I would actually end up using them for something else. This one was composed of some tan pieces and some panels, and this one has trans light blue panels as well, and this one had red and black pieces, but I'm sort of recycling them and reusing them for another MOC build. So in the end, nothing is really wasted. It's more of just a consolidation of the colors so that this one would look uniform and the other build would look more uniform as well. But if you are not bothered with the original design, you can still build this and not require any of these pieces to be able to make the building complete. Now let's move on to the ground floor going up into the interior. So the ground floor has the barber shop and the comic shop, and you have here a typical electric fan that you would have in barbershops, or at least in my area, that's what they have. And then we all have here the build for the barbers where he could cut the hair, and then for this one, make sort of like a cleanup or do a shampoo or whatever for the customer. Technically, you could also use it for a second barber to cut hair, but it has sort of like a clear sink where you would usually shampoo the hair and clean it off. Then you have here two cash registers, one for the barber shop and one for the comic book store or comic shop. Here I've used more pieces, especially here in this area. I have some printed and stickered pieces, and I used up a few more parts here to create sort of like a combination of different books or comics that people could use and look at if they're planning to buy something. This one is another additional detail that I used. I had the extra pieces lying around. The stairs has also changed. I'm using the technique that came with the police station, where you're using facets to build up the stairs. I had a lot of the black facets here, so it made sense for me to use it for this build. Again, these are improvements that you could do if you plan to sort of complete the build of the Downtown Arcade. Now we move on to the second level. Now for the second level, it has a unique structure build given that it has a very tall wall climbing area here that stems up to the third level, but is really just kept in the second level when it comes to building it. And I have here the removable panel. This one used to be sort of like a tunnel or an overhead pass in the downtown main street. But then I thought it would be a nice build to try and make it into a slot panel so that you could see all throughout the interior of the wall climbing area. I used to have another wall climbing area in my Jim's Diner MOC, an alternate design of the downtown diner. But then I thought this one would also make up for a really nice MOC given how many of these half circle tiles they have, and these rope pieces, which initially was for the lights, but then I thought they could work as rappelling ropes of some sort. I'm not an expert, but I think you get the idea, right? I hope. So for this one, you have more arcade games. I used more printed pieces or sticker pieces that are in my collection just to make up and more details. The players could have here some snacks where it's sort of like a table where they could put their food while playing games, and they could just come back whenever they would want to drink or have some food. Now, this one is a big signage that was in the Main Street MOC, or sorry, set. And I thought it looked great as part of the games. Sort of like an arcade where it's a two-player game and they use this mobile app to be able to play this. And I think really this is a really good way of utilizing an advert, what would have been an advert, and turning it into a game for players here in the Lego area. The stairs, again, I am using facets, and for this one is just normal bricks to create a uniform stair that would lead up to the upper level. And then we now move on to the third floor. So the third floor is where you could claim your prizes. I have here the extra cat ears, a bunny, some minifigs, or microfigs rather, and then some Ninjago sets here, a helmet. I think this one would be sort of like the grand prize. I have some pretend microphones or whatnot, and then also here is the robot from the Dreams set, and I can consider it sort of like a prize as well. Here we have two more arcade games. Those stickers came from a Ninjago set, but I had spare stickers, so I used them for that. And for this part here, initially I had sort of like a car racing game arcade here, but then I kept the build of the tuk-tuk for sort of like the strawberry juice shop or tuk-tuk. And so it used to be that this was the arcade game here. I just ended up using more parts from my inventory to create a shuttle and then sort of like create a game there. This one is from the Noodle Shop alternate design, and I had spares in it as well. So I used this one for the additional details because I really think the arcade sign is really nice with this set right here. A few more stickers here. I could end up adding more details here and here so that it doesn't look plain white, but there's sort of like there's a balance of trying not to overcrowd with so many colors. So I think this portion here is enough of the details, and this one is sort of the balance of having a uniform color. Anyway, that's it for the third level. The easy part about this one is just that the roof is very easy to connect. Just have 2 connection points here and in the corner back here. Now we have solar panels here, some air vents and cooling systems and whatnot. I don't even really know what those would do, but you know, solar panels, they do their job. And then here is a plain and simple structure, enough to have this fit perfectly over there. Yep. So when I designed this one, I really didn't think I would be able to create this portion right here. I just started messing around with the details, with the parts that were available, and lo and behold, this one came about. I'm very happy with how unique or unusual the facade is. And this one is for sort of like the usual or the normal facade that you would see around the city. That's it. Okay, so that's it for our overview of the Downtown Arcade. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you're also able to get some ideas of how to improve it further if you decide to add more parts for your own Downtown Arcade. But please know that I will not be creating a second instruction for those additional details, because as I see it, the alternate design is already perfect in itself, where if you don't have any other parts and you're starting off with your city, especially with teenagers or kids, and you just got the downtown Main Street as a gift or as a prize, or when you bought that from the from the Lego store, you could still create something like this. So it's working with the available parts in your inventory. And if you plan to improve upon it later on, you could go back and add more details, just like what I did here. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, and be sure to be on the lookout, especially next week. There will be a surprise for something that's coming up as in my part as a designer. I hope you'd be able to help me out on that one. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!